Hello and welcome to the Movie Podcast. My name is Daniel. I am one of your hosts today, and joining alongside me for another Mainer.
Ooh.
It's Shahbaz.
Hello, Radioland.
Radioland?
Yeah, I don't know. I got a little stressed on what to say.
Yeah.
So Radioland was the first thing to come out of my mouth.
Okay.
Maybe someone lives in Radioland, Texas.
Yes. Send us the signal. Let us know.
Send us a postcard, maybe.
AM or FM. And the other voice that you have not heard yet is Anthony. Hi, Anthony.
Hello.
How you doing?
Do you know some cars are dropping AM radio?
They're dropping AM radio?
Yeah.
I feel like that's the easiest signal to get.
Yeah, I know.
Isn't that like just available? It's like one of those
Like it's just
things
like in your brain.
happens. Like you just have it.
Yeah, I know. But I was
For
reading that
emergency reasons.
Ford recently said that they'll bring it back to their cars.
Yeah.
Like electric
Oh, so
cars
it's
already don't come with AM radio.
Oh,
Most electric cars, at least.
Do you have
don't come with AM
FM radio in your car?
I have FM radio.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I don't have AM radio. I'm not sure if it's because that old technology.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
You think AM radio is new technology?
It's current technology.
I don't know about
it
that.
uses a current to run.
it's good to have a backup just in case new technology, because we know that AM and FM have been around for so long and
Right.
sustained. Like
Yeah.
we know it's very sustainable and it works.
Right.
As soon as there's a blackout or something, it's like turn on the AM radio
Yeah.
and you can hear what's
Yeah.
going on in the world.
They're like reporting from a bunker somewhere.
So yeah, it's always good to have as an emergency system.
Right.
I'm surprised they don't have it. Like, okay, we'll rely on technology
Yeah.
digitally.
Yeah.
I just feel like that can go more than AM, FM. I've never ever experienced a time where FM or AM stopped. It's always just there.
I just don't listen to it. But
I'm
yes.
curious, yeah, because even in movies, it's like everything could be done, but it's like you turn on one radio
Yeah.
station, it was like, ladies and gentlemen, we are
Apocalypse.
reporting. This is the last broadcast
Yeah,
ever
right.
of humanity. Oh, okay.
Right.
I'm curious, how expensive do you think it is to buy an AM channel? Because
Well,
or
probably
maybe
all the good ones are taken.
but are they? You think so?
What number would you want?
Like
69?
Like 69. Well, you can. It has the AM.
Has to be 3 letters? 3 numbers, sorry?
No, but AM stations are like by increments of like 5, isn't it? So there's there's no
I'm not
like
sure.
or 10. So there's no like
I think it's 10.
I
about 10.
didn't even know you could buy it. Like I thought it
Yeah.
was just like
the
I don't
movie
even-
podcast
who gives
AM or the
these-
movie
yeah,
podcast
who gives-
FM.
who
We
gives
have to be
them out?
FM. Who
Yeah.
gives it up? Mr. AM.
Is it like you got to go to the government or something? Like
I think
How does
so.
that
You
work?
got to go to
We
the.
literally sound just so dumb for
You
some
have to go to
reason
the.
right now.
You have to go to the.
you just I don't know. You
Go to
just think-
Radioland. You have
Go to Radioland and
Go to Radioland.
put one in your carts, and
Yeah.
then you go.
I'll take
the
one
movie
AM,
podcast
please.
FM sounds cool though.
It does sound cool.
You know, like
Yeah.
that. Like why
But
don't
it also
we?
sounds backwards too, because it sounds like
The movie
like a
podcast
juxtaposition, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a podcast, but it's on radio.
Yeah, and it's about movies.
That'd be really cool though. Maybe it's cheap and we can have a radio station
Yeah.
where it's constantly us.
Constantly us, like-
Sirius satellite radio.
Right, but I feel like Sirius, you got to pay them. There's a good
Yeah.
royalty to them and all that. Like, I feel like FM could be, especially if you live in Ontario.
Yeah.
it could be our ticket to.
You know, it's like a constant loop of all of our episodes ever, and it's just constantly
Our
on air.
greatest hits.
Yeah, it's just constantly on air, and then
Just
we'll
all the
air
episodes.
every hour. We'll air like our most recent review. We're not going to give you our game plan for this.
No,
No one
why
take
are we-
the movie
why are we
podcast.
spoiling it now?
What numbers would you want though for FM though?
I don't know, 99.9. And I know it's already been taken,
though, man.
I know,
You
but it
can't
sounds
do it.
cool though.
Yeah, I feel like we would need
100.
like. I feel like we'd need like one that's like. You know, like 104.5. Like we would need one with 4, so we could do like
Yeah.
our colors and the numbers and everything.
Right,
like that.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean? There's a lot of opportunity.
And
there.
it's increments of 5, you said.
No. For FM, you could go within like different
Oh, okay.
frequencies and
Is it
stuff.
single digits you could go by?
Yeah,
FM?
because like there's like 88.9 and like 92.1.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's like
Does it go up to-
94.5.
Does it go up to like 1,000? I don't know. Like, what's the number it stops
I
at?
don't think so. I feel like I've only ever heard of like 100.
The highest, the like I think there's like 107.9,
Yeah,
and then
but there's no like 110, is there?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't listen to the radio.
We
also.
don't know.
Is there 120? I think.
120, like 102.1.
No, that's 102. 120, 120.
120. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it goes that high. But we got to introduce these frequencies.
Yes.
because we have a lot to say on
Well,
these
to
frequencies.
like redo everyone's cars though to get those stations
to do it, and
Yeah.
then but electric cars won't have us though because they're going to drop FM probably after we announce that we're getting a
That's
radio
true.
station.
That's true. Maybe they will.
Yeah. This is the movie podcast. We like to have fun here.
Yeah.
We do like to have fun.
Mainers, you know, Mainers.
The Mainers, we don't know where the road goes. We just follow down the road. We listen to the FM. We listen to the FM, the old FM.
Yeah.
As always, you can catch a brand new episode of our show all throughout the week, where we talk to the latest and greatest in celebrities and for reviews, interviews, all of that. And then of course we have these little gems that we drop, like you're listening to right now, with the main episode or a mainer. If we're sticking to that, we'll stick to that.
We'll stick to it for now.
The Mainers is pretty good. But like I said, we like to have a lot of fun here. It's great when we're in a room together talking. We're heading into a very busy movie season, which is the summer blockbuster season. Blockbuster is not around anymore, but the movies do survive. We've already. When would you say the official start of the blockbuster season is now? Because I feel like it's been moving its flag earlier and earlier and earlier.
There's debate for April, but I'd like to think May.
You think May's the start?
I think May's the start.
Interesting. How about you, Anthony?
It would be, I would say May. It has to take place in summer.
Yeah.
I know Disney's been like, but it starts in March. And
Right.
Like, okay.
Yeah, seriously.
There's even
summer.
some debate there too. Yeah.
It's not summer, but
But May technically
feel
still
like
spring
the
too, right?
Blockbuster season is between that March to August.
Yeah.
Not even August. It's like March to July.
Yeah.
August is like the leftovers, but I like for it to start in May.
You like for it to start in May? Okay, yeah, for sure. Because I always think growing up, like May was really when the big movies started coming out, and it's only been recently in the last couple of years that we've been seeing a lot more films starting to open up earlier and earlier. And I remember the big deal when was it Infinity War?
Yeah.
It decided to open up like 2 weeks earlier.
Yes.
Because they were just like, why not?
Why not?
Or like a week and a half earlier. So they started doing those early screenings. And you look at like something like the Mario movie that just cleaned up all of April. And then before that, like we're seeing Disney really starts to put a lot of their films in March too.
Yeah.
So like we're starting earlier and earlier and earlier now.
I mean, when we got Black Panther in February, obviously it made sense to release it that way, but it also was like, wow, we're getting a huge film in the early months of the year.
Yeah.
Which is so unheard of at that time. And now even January is not a dump month anymore.
Yeah, there's a lot of more competition, especially with like these franchise IP based type of stories where like 1 week it could be Mario and then the next week it's like something else and then the next week is something else. So it's good to start earlier, even though you
have some space.
It's not the summer, but you might have a whole month.
You'll have a lead
people
off.
will still, if the movie's good and people want to see it, they'll still put money towards it.
Yeah, and it's wild to think like look at the March that we had this year. Where we had Quantumania that ended February. Again, big movie that's coming out in February. Then we're going to March with Scream, with Creed, with Shazam, and John Wick. Like there's a lot of films that are just inching earlier and earlier in the year, and it's great to see because like it's a nice spread, and hopefully these films, like Anthony said, will get the attention and the money that they'll deserve at the box office.
Right.
But sometimes it doesn't work out for them.
Because Creed's like a July film, right? Like when you look at Creed, you're like, oh, this is
or a Thanksgiving film.
Or even a Thanksgiving film, yeah. But if you wanted to make it like a summer film, you would have done it in July.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to make it any other time, you're right, you'd make it in Thanksgiving.
Yeah, because I know like the first Creed came out like a week before or 2 weeks before The Force Awakens.
Right.
So that was like a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
The Creed 2 was in November. And then like you would have thought like they could have easily made Creed 3 a big blockbuster film. For reasons that we won't get into here, it's good they did not wait until the summer for this movie.
It is a good thing they released that movie when they did.
That movie came out at the right time.
It turned into a real life story.
Yeah,
so
seriously.
Quickly.
So we'll let's talk a little bit about what we're looking forward to this summer. Obviously, there's a lot of big movies coming.
Yeah.
But I'm curious if you guys had to name 3 films that you were most excited for coming out this summer, where would you go? And I know one of them for us, which we have seen already, is coming out this week.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm not going to count that one.
We won't.
So we won't count that one. And again, the one we are talking about is Across the Spider-Verse. You could see our reactions for it.
Yes.
We loved it. Review's going to be coming out later. We'll talk a little bit more what this week is looking like very, very soon. But let's look at the summer movie season. I like that we're here. Let's enjoy the hot weather and some good movies. What's on the radar this summer for you guys?
For me, Mission Impossible is a big one.
Yeah, that's number one.
As well as Oppenheimer.
Yep.
Indiana Jones was there, but now like learning about it and people like talking about it, I don't know if I'm as excited as I thought I was. And I know we should let our opinions be our opinions.
Yeah.
But even like the praise that it did get, it was very lackluster as well. So I'm like, I'm not as excited as I was.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes, like, again, and we're lucky that we get to see films, and we kind of set that tone for a lot of people too, in a way.
Yeah.
So like when people set that tone for us, it's like, hold on a second, don't tell me how to feel about a movie.
It's interesting, you're saying that right now, because I was thinking about it this morning when I was coming here. I was thinking about Shazam! Fear of the Gods. I was seeing tweets about it and how when we watched it, no one had seen it yet. We had watched it even much earlier on than a lot of critics, so there was no spoilers or reactions or anything, and we all enjoyed that movie. And then when it finally came out, it was just like absolutely just shat on.
Yeah, or most people haven't seen it,
or most people just haven't seen it because they're like, well, if people didn't like it, so I'm not going to form my opinion. So it's interesting that, like, how wrong sometimes you could be to the mass, right? So I'm curious if Indiana Jones is going to have that first, because yes, while right now the Cannes crowd was like meh on it, curious to see coming days and weeks where that number rises.
Yeah, and it's curious because I wonder if Disney looks at that release strategy in the future, and it's like, are we going to do this again? Like, will we? Because didn't Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, was it also at Cannes?
Not too sure.
Yeah, so because I feel like there was another big Disney film that they brought to Cannes. I feel like it was
like back in the day kind of thing.
Yeah, like I feel like it could have been Kingdom of the Crystal Skull that opened up at Cannes. But yeah, I mean, I'm very excited for it still because I want to see Indiana Jones. I love Indiana Jones. I love James Mangold, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen with it. But you're right, Anthony. When I look at what I'm looking forward to this summer, it's wild to think that.
It was on the list.
It's not
for me.
It's not a top 3 movie for me this summer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know what has climbed up there based on its last trailer, especially Barbie. Barbie. That trailer was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I really dug it.
That was the best look at Barbie I think that we've seen so far.
Yeah, very like when you have Kate McKinnon doing her Birkenstocks and heels situation there. It's very much like this is like the Matrix that they're kind of like pulling fun of as well, right? Yeah, it just looks great. I think Greta Gerwig is fantastic. I think the cast is amazing, and it just looks like a great time. Like, it knows what it is.
Yeah, and I just wanted to nail that vibe. I think Greta Gerwig has made some phenomenal films over the years, so I feel like with this movie coming, there's so much buzz around it. There's so much excitement for it. And I'm really curious to see what the audience is going to be for it. Because, like, is this going to be a movie that kids go see? Is this a movie that parents are going to be taking their kids to go see? Or is this going to be more of an adult focused film? And I'm wondering, where is that going to lie? Because Barbie is as a toy for kids. Is that going to translate for a movie for kids?
Absolutely. And a lot of this movie also has the the vibes of being like a gay icon,
Yeah, 100%.
And you kind of wonder, like, oh, would it have been better if they released it in June then? Like during Pride Month? Like, would they have capitalized on that? Because now they're releasing against Oppenheimer, which is also interesting because it's just like,
it's wild. None of them have moved.
For both. Yeah.
Weird that none of them have moved. And but Barbie has, like, Oppenheimer obviously I think will most likely win the weekend.
Yeah.
But it's like there's a lot of excitement going into Barbie. And I think there's a lot of excitement in social. There's a lot in June though.
I mean, June 16th for sure there is.
And then Indiana Jones. So I feel like, and then Spider-Verse before. So like it's like a kill box. There's no movies this summer. Also, Indiana Jones Kingdom of the Crystal Skull did open up at Cannes in 2008.
Okay.
And what was its a
reaction?
Reaction, because
I can't imagine good.
It premiered at Cannes Film Festival a couple days ahead. So this was only a couple days ahead.
Yeah.
And it was let's see here. And the film would be watched just using a film projector in theaters, blah 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 blah.
That makes sense.
Yep. Sure, okay.
Why would they even have to say that?
But even Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, like it's like people like had issues with it, but it wasn't, I feel like there was more. It still has a higher Rotten Tomatoes score than the Dial of Destiny right now, does it not? Even though it's not Dial of Destiny only has 40 reviews on it. I think Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is in the 70s on Rotten Tomatoes. I could be wrong.
Let's take a look.
But I also thought it was shot really well. Like the
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, it was beautifully shot.
There's a lot of great moments in that movie.
Spielberg film, so it has that vibe to it. It has that look. Just the ending where the aliens kind of like disconnected you because you just didn't like that's not the Indiana Jones story.
It felt so separate. Yeah.
So it's at 77 critics, but 53 audience.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I'm curious to see where the Dial of Destiny is going to land. Obviously, June, like we're just talking about June being a big month. We have Across the Spider-Verse coming out. We have Asteroid City coming out, and then June 16th, we just have like a crazy. Oh, Asteroid City is on June 16th, right?
Yeah.
With The Flash and with Elemental, and it's like, what a wild stay at the theaters that's going to be.
Yeah, it's like, which one do you pick? You know, which one do you go to? And I think a lot of people will go to The Flash because it's superhero hype type of thing. And
but also DC's coming off of 2 big losses of films, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even The Flash right now is tracking only to make around 70 million.
Yeah.
Which, when you think of a movie that's going to have The Flash in it, it's going to have Batman in it, Ben Affleck's Batman, it's going to have Michael Keaton's Batman, Supergirl, what other million of cameos that are going to be in there. It's interesting, and there's been so many screenings of this film.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like I've been seeing like random spoilers on my Twitter feed, which is like, don't do that. That, like, don't be dumb.
Yeah,
don't do that.
Don't spoil movies. Come on, not before they're out.
Yeah, so it's interesting that Warner Brothers has this approach with their releases, where it's like, let's have these big fan screenings, like, to really focus and get people excited. But I'm like, does that take away from the money that you're going to be having opening weekend?
Right, and it always does. I mean, like we talked about it with Black Adam. It took, well, I mean, Black Adam also just wasn't a good movie, but it also, like, it hurt it. Like, people were already saying like, oh, it's not good.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh shit, okay, well, let's not go see it.
Yeah. So,
and as of today, there's a screening happening, or
in Toronto,
yesterday. Because
yesterday, if you're listening to this on Monday.
There's a screening in Toronto, and I'm guessing that's all free.
That was like, you have to be like,
You either win the contest, or you wait in line for it,
As
and I think it's still free. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's still free. So you're invited as an influencer,
right?
Which we don't influence yet. And then that's it.
Yeah, it's an interesting path that with The Flash, like, we will have a press screening for it. It just has not happened yet, even though there's been a million press screenings for it in the States. So it's interesting. It's a weird it's a weird cycle how it happens sometimes.
Like, they just have every single gun pointed at their head, and they have like a little drawstring, and they're just pulling it and shooting themselves. Because I don't understand
that's an image.
The idea of why you would do so many fan screenings before the movie comes out, which is June 16th. And they've been doing fan screenings since the beginning of May.
Yeah,
maybe April. When was?
Well, it was CinemaCon. It was at CinemaCon. But I also think it's because, obviously, like, not to get into the weeds of everything, with everything that happened with Ezra Miller.
What happened?
Oh, well, let me tell you. I think they're looking for a way to take the spotlight away. No, not gaslight.
No, it's gaslighting.
Stoplight.
The stoplight. I think it's a way of them taking the spotlight away from Ezra and being like, let's celebrate how big this movie is.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this too. It's like, I've never seen a movie go from like, they can't release this to everyone is just like, this is the greatest superhero film of all time going into it. It's like Tom Cruise is talking about it. Stephen King's talking about it. You know, like, everyone who has seen this movie, and James Gunn keeps talking about it.
It's like James Cameron's next, right? Like,
James Cameron did say something about it.
Did he?
Yeah. James, I swear James Cameron said something about The Flash. Can you search that up?
I'll look it up. Yeah.
I swear I saw something about James Cameron.
But isn't that like gaslighting us though? Like, hey guys, don't listen to what's actually happening with the people that are in the film. Listen to like Tom Cruise, who loves this film, and listen to
and I get it, because
Stephen King.
They need to sell their movie, right? They need to sell their movie, but and Ezra Miller is one person out of the thousands that have made that movie and been part of it. But it's like, wow, like, what a switch in conversation. I'm just curious to see if that's going to work for them in the long run when it comes to actually releasing. Did James Cameron say anything?
He didn't. He hasn't said anything about it.
But
he just mostly a lot of, like, when I typed in James Cameron The Flash, it's like James Cameron disses Marvel movies. It's like, well, that's not the same thing.
It's not the same character.
Same thing.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's kind of wild. It's like it's such a like, oh, look at this over here. Like, they're just dangling these keys in front of us.
Meanwhile,
like, ignore
all this other stuff that's happening.
Yeah. And listen, we hope the movie is great.
Yeah.
We're going to review the movie when it comes out, of course, but we will be reviewing the movie, and
we'll be aware of the situation.
And we're not going to address the situation of this character.
The Viper in the room,
right?
You have to. You can't, like, come out with a movie and have your main character, the main actor,
be an abuser,
a vigilante, like not a vigilante,
not a vigilante,
not a vigilante, but like someone who's wreaking havoc across the United States.
Exactly,
and not address
fucking
that.
Riddler out there.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that one.
Yeah.
But I think for me, like, going back to what Anthony was saying with his top film of this summer, I don't know, in a world where it's not Mission Impossible.
I don't know what world that is.
So I feel like for me right now, it's Mission Impossible, Oppenheimer, which is crazy to think Nolan being like one of my favorite directors. Yeah. That's not number one, but when there's a Mission Impossible movie at play,
especially when the last one was Fallout, like it's like I'm at a loss for words as to how excited I am. And that last trailer that just came out was so incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I didn't get excited for it. I actually
Anthony felt
less excited.
Anthony felt the reckoning of it.
Because it didn't feel, I don't know. I got this vibe that I'm like, I don't know what Dead Reckoning is all about, but it just had like this family dynamic involved with
Fast
it. Like
Fast and Furious.
You know, but like Tom and his whole like crew, it just felt like, it felt family. There's a lot of love.
It didn't leave as much as an impact as last year's trailer. Right. Because when I think of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning right now, I'm thinking of
still the first trailer.
That first trailer.
But this one feels like, it's like the end of the IMF, right? So it's the end of that team or the end of that family. So maybe that's where that connection's coming from.
Maybe, yeah.
And I kept going
IMF
back.
is like always gone at the end of it.
Yeah, they're always in trouble, right?
And I kept going back to Rebecca Ferguson when she was on the show. She's like, yeah, it's much darker. And I'm looking at this trailer. I'm like, this doesn't feel dark. I'm also trying to understand why this stunt, which I watched on YouTube, he jumps off a mountain. Yeah. I'm like, why is this relevant to?
I hope it makes sense in the movie.
Yeah.
there's nothing around it. It's just an empty space. Well, when he did his jump from a billion miles
even
in the
the
sky,
one on the plane. Even that one, it made sense.
It made sense.
Well, this one is just like he just wanted to jump off a cliff and
that's what it felt like. That's what it felt like.
They're like, Tom, we just found this mountain. I'm jumping off.
I'm off it. I'm off it.
So, and it's part 1 of 2. Yeah. I know we were not big fans of the parts.
You mean the part 1, right?
The titling of this movie.
Yeah. Get rid of part 1. Like Spider-Verse was smart and be like, this is across the Spider-Verse. The next one's beyond the Spider-Verse.
And every movie does that. Like you look at Avengers, like Endgame, or Infinity War. Sorry,
Infinity War, part 1, part 2. Yeah,
I think it's just the name is so good, like Dead Reckoning.
It is a great name.
How do you Dead Not Reckoning? Like what's the, how do you put the part
Reckoning.
2 of the Reckoning?
Undead Reckoning. Damn.
Yeah.
It's like there's zombies in that one.
There's zombies in that one. Yeah, it's John Marston.
Yeah.
What's his stunt in part 2?
What is the stunt in part 2?
Yeah. He has to climb up that same thing.
He's like, it's a wrong mountain. We gotta climb up.
Yeah.
I wonder what it is.
You don't. I don't know.
It could be a
space.
I mean, he's done. There's been a few that have come out, like in terms of like that he's been shooting, right? So he was like the one where he was on the plane, where he was like, welcome to the movies, and he was like hanging off that plane.
Yeah, but that's just Tom Cruise for fun, dude.
That could have. Yeah, you're right.
That's what he just does. That's how he gets a set.
Yeah.
Dude. Last
Tom, get in the plane.
Tom
please.
was always on a plane. He never set foot on the ground.
Right.
It was just every single time we see him, he was on a plane.
Yeah, that's wild.
But yeah, no, it is exciting. I wasn't connected to that trailer as much as the first one.
Yeah, for sure. I
get that.
Yeah.
And like a lot of ambiguity where everything is.
And I'm also like, I'm also at the point where I'm like, I don't want to see any more of this movie. Like, I don't even know that I like that Tom Cruise jumps off a cliff in this movie.
I'm sold already, so don't show me anymore.
Exactly, and it's interesting that we're going to it, and I'm curious if Mission Impossible is. I don't think it's going to make as much as Top Gun Maverick did, which is again such a wild thing to say, considering if like you were to ask me this a year ago. No way Top Gun Maverick makes over $700 million, $800 million, $1 billion, $1.4 billion. Like, oh my God. Amazing. What else is coming out this summer that's like on your radar? August, we have the Dracula movie that has like that name that we saw. We're like, this is an awful name.
Oh yeah. The last voyage of the Dimitris.
Yeah.
Demetria.
I was going to say Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle, yeah.
Like, I really dug
Gran
the trailer.
Turismo?
Yeah,
I'm not looking forward to it or anything like that, but I'm just saying like it's a big
Gran Turismo reminds me of a movie, and again, I hope I'm wrong. It reminds me of a movie that would have come out in like 2013.
Absolutely, 2012, 2013.
Like when we did Need for Speed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I get this one's a little bit different because it's like based on the true story of like the person who was playing Gran Turismo, but it's just an interesting it's an interesting release.
I like Neil. I like Neil Blomkamp. I mean, I know he hasn't really like done a lot to like win me over, but like what he has done, it's been pretty decent.
Yeah, no, like Elysium and
District 9.
Yeah, like
August actually has
very creative stuff. So when I look at Gran Turismo, this dude was great at Gran Turismo the game. Let's put him in a car. But it's also circuit-based type of racing.
Right.
It's not historical period type.
No.
Where if it's even like F1, where I know Brad Pitt's doing an F1
for Apple, right? With John Watts, yeah.
And you just like, oh, that's dope because you have like really cool cars and great cast, great production team and all that.
And where's the drama, right? Like you think of movies like Rush that
Rush
really focus on the
man.
drama between characters. Is this one just like a gimmicky, like, oh, I'm a video gamer and now I'm an amazing race car driver? It's like, where's the... You want some sports movies need to stick to a certain formula because they'll always be successful at it.
Right. Because is this a video game movie or is this a sports movie? And it's a weird mix of both.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
I know. I hope we're wrong.
That's what the vibe I got from the trailer.
Other films in August coming out: Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, it got pushed up.
Yeah. So is it still in August though?
Yes.
August 2nd?
Yes, but it was like initiating the second week of August.
Oh, okay, got you. And then we have the Meg too.
Yeah.
You know, everyone loves the Meg.
Everyone loves the Meg.
Did we talk about Oppenheimer? We didn't really talk about Oppenheimer.
We spoke about it. But we didn't like go deep into it. That last trailer is like...
Yeah, the last trailer was really dope. And it's a story about building a bomb. So, like how Christopher Nolan taking this type of, again, historical fact and let's make a movie around it.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see
it's going to be
what the
storytelling.
story is.
Yeah.
You know, what the drama is. Because when you think about it, the guy built the bomb, they used the bomb, and then the world started building more bombs. Where is the suspense? Where is that thrill?
But I feel it in the trailer, especially in that last one, right? Where just like you just hear the nuclear sounds and like the ticking. Like Nolan's going to find a way to tell it in the most convoluted way.
Yes.
But also like just make it feel like it's like the biggest thing ever, and it really is, right? And I think I love when I've been hearing the way Nolan's been talking about this movie. It's like people don't give Oppenheimer the due credit I think he does in history. He changed the worlds, and he's like one of the most significant people in the world. And I hope this movie really makes me
shows that
believe that.
Yeah.
And I know he is, but also like you want to see it and you want to be entertained as well, right?
Absolutely.
Do you think Nolan set off a bomb somewhere?
I definitely think so. Come on, he has to have set off a bomb somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's a creative way of like taking miniatures and using microscopic type of cameras to capture the internals of an explosion.
This guy was dropping bombs in like the desert for sure, though. He was 100%. Filming some stuff.
He was dropping some nukes for sure.
I don't think
like Kim Jong.
I know definitely not nukes, but like I don't know about blowing up shit. I just feel like it's not good for the environment.
I think
for a film.
No one's gonna make a movie about that after. How he was the one that damaged the environment.
God. Anything else, Shay? What would you say your top 3 then are for this year?
Well, I mean, I think Barbie, Oppenheimer, and Mission Impossible definitely are the ones I'm looking forward to. There's some that I'm really curious about, and if you had pitched this movie to me before I had watched the trailer, I would have said to you, no way.
Are you talking about some Talking Doggos?
I'm talking about some Talking Doggos. Strays, like that trailer we like laughed at. Like it looked so stupid, but Phil Lord, Chris Miller, they know what kind of comedy that we like, and it made me laugh a couple times. I was like, damn, like this is actually going to be probably pretty funny, or it could just be a complete misfire.
I hope it's funny because it gives me a lot of vibes, and it's from the same team that did Bad Boys, Good Boys.
Yeah.
With Jacob Tremblay, who we just spoke to on the carpet. That I hope that it delivers, and I hope it just doesn't just feel a little one note throughout. But I hope it could be a funny movie.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's just like you take something that's so innocent, like a talking dog film, and you just give it that hard R rating that we never expected.
How fast after this movie comes out do you guys think we see those articles of like kids, parents upset that they're like, well, we took our kids to watch Strays? And
that's the thing, like, who is this meant for? Because if it's meant for adults, then I don't know, like I'm not gonna spend money to go watch dogs talk. I'd rather wait for it to come out.
Yeah,
but then dogs are like, they're designed for kids, right? I get it. Like there's a bunch like the type of dogs that are in the story.
Movies,
yes.
Well, no, this is
not dogs, creatures.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you, the
rated R version? But I'm like, it didn't interest me. But I get it. You guys love
laughing,
Chris
and happiness,
Chris
Miller and Phil Lord. Yeah,
like you guys will just jump to everything that they make. So it's
jump like a dog.
Why are you hating on us, man?
I'm not hating. I just know it.
I just think you guys like to laugh, and you know me. I hate laughing.
No, I hope it's good. I hope it's good. Like, but it's that movie on paper. You're like, okay, this is happening. But I hope it delivers. I hope it's.
I'm sure we'll go to a screening for it, and we'll have a hoo-ha time. And if we don't, then we'll tell you.
Two barks up, two noses up,
two bitches in the air.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the dog. Any other final thoughts? On the summer movie season this year. How are we feeling this summer compared to last summer in terms of releases?
I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, there's at least 3 movies that I'm like, whoa, excited for.
if I look back at last year, you had Top Gun, you had Nope, you had what was the other one?
Last summer, that's what I was going to now. So going into going into June. Oh yeah, we had Top Gun, we had Lightyear, we had Jurassic Worlds, Marcel the Shell, Elvis, Thor, my goodness, Where the Crawdads Sing, Nope, DC League, Super Pets, Bodies, Prey,
Where the Crawdads Sing, the Gray Man, Body, Prey.
It's a lot bigger and better.
A lot bigger films this summer for sure.
But I have like this worriness that it's not going to be a great.
You have this worry. Well, I hope your worriness is wrong.
I hope you're wrong.
I just feel like
I hope you're so wrong that you just never do this podcast
There's
again.
some great films there for sure. You have Spider-Verse that's there.
Yeah.
This summer.
This summer. And what was the other film that we watched recently that was? It's a big one, but it just didn't. Even Ant-Man and
Quantumania? But that was in February, though.
I know that, but I'm just looking at 2023's big films.
Oh.
They haven't been on track to really set in motion. This is going to be a good year in 2023.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's what I'm trying to.
Yeah, but I mean, but we've luckily we came off of March that had some really good movies in it, right? With Creed, with Scream, with Air. Then Blackberry, obviously, the Mario Brothers movie, Guardians, Little Mermaid. We've had some good movies already this year, but I'm curious to see, you're right, what is this summer going to be the start of okay, this year's been good so far, but now we're getting to the all-timer list, the movies that I think of Maverick, obviously, being that new benchmark for me, where it's is this going to be the movie that I'll just keep putting on? You know what I mean?
Because last summer with Top Gun and for me, even those were movies that I remember.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about John Wick. And I like John Wick, but I totally forgot about it.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about
you can't even remember it now.
Oh gosh. What was the other movie? I'll come back to
Guardians, Little Mermaid?
Guardians, yes.
Yeah.
Even though I loved it, I just totally forgot about it. I felt like that happened 40 years ago in my mind.
And I know a lot happens with us too, so time is weirder for us because we're always on to the next thing. But yeah, it's definitely something.
Do you guys know they're doing a Bird Box, either a sequel or
it's
remake
set in a different country,
Barcelona?
Spain?
Yeah.
And it has the great name of Bird Box Barcelona.
Yeah.
Remember
BBB.
Yeah, we were talking about it
That's
a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it's wild.
There's a lot of streaming stuff coming out too. Obviously, I know that we
don't talk about
streaming.
Yeah. Did you guys see that interview that Quentin Tarantino was giving this week?
Who?
Quentin Tarantino. That he was talking about how people, he was he threw shade at The Rock because he's that movie.
He threw shade at Ryan Reynolds.
No,
Ryan Reynolds.
But there's
and
also
The Rock as well.
The Rock is one and another one.
I don't think the shade was I don't feel like the Ryan Reynolds was shade.
No, I don't.
I just think it was just
shade. I think it's just a weird.
Yeah. But also the video that I watched, he specifically called out The Rock.
Oh, okay.
Where he's just that movie on Netflix with The Rock, that doesn't stay. People don't talk about that. People don't remember that. You know what I mean? That was my best Quentin Tarantino impression.
Oh, that was Tarantino.
That was Tarantino. He was just here in the studio.
He's right though. There are parts there's a lot of right to his
streaming shows and movies that don't become part of the conversation like films that would go to theater become, right?
But even if I look at Netflix, the first thing that comes to mind is Stranger Things, right?
Yeah.
I don't think of their...
A year ago this week, we were watching season 4.
Right.
Yeah.
And
part 2?
I don't think of the movies that Gray Man or the Ryan Reynolds film that came
Red Notice?
No, there was the other one where it's space. He's he goes back in time.
Adam Project.
Yeah. Big budgets, huge movies. You think they would leave a mark,
right?
But it's almost like we've given people too much.
They take the wrong lessons from it. Yeah. Studios and everything take the wrong lessons from it. Right?
And movies are kind of movies, and now with streaming, everything is heading towards very similar to music, where music is not memorable, right? Music comes out,
it's just so accessible.
There's something else, and you
so
forget
much.
about it.
Yeah.
But if you hear something from the 70s or 80s, even the 90s,
that resonates forever.
Because it was just it wasn't accessible as much as it was in the
I got
past.
you for sure.
People weren't just making music how they make music. So there's these pros and cons to making or having access to all these
We're not
things.
going to excess culture right now,
But we're
right?
almost canceling our culture at the same time.
Really? What do you mean?
Because we have so many movies coming out, nothing's leaving a mark on us.
Yeah, because it's just so much. There's just
because we're still getting the same amount of movies in theaters.
Yeah.
plus
the stuff at
streaming
home.
shows and streaming films, and it's like
it really
we're
needs to
constantly
bang
getting
with you.
and I hate the word, the content. It's just so much, and like I'll see it all the time. Like we're like they'll be so, what's your favorite piece of Star Wars content? I'm like, ugh. Like don't make it sound like that. That's so gross sounding.
It almost sounds reductive, right?
Yeah. And like I was watching, and again, like as much as I like the show, I saw a scene from Obi-Wan this week that was on Twitter, where like when Darth Vader was talking like you didn't kill, talking to Obi, he's like you didn't kill Anakin, I did. And I'm like, man, that's a great scene. I totally forgot. And like it's weird that it's like there's so much of these shows that just kind of come and go, and they take like they'll hold your attention when you're watching it, but it's like when you're done, it's like you're waiting to the next thing, and it's just how we are now.
Our fault.
Right?
That's
it
why
is our fault.
I kind of called it canceling because we want so much because we have nothing good or nothing amazing happening with our lives where we have to watch all these things. Like when we would watch summer blockbusters in the 90s, those were like huge events.
Yeah.
But I wasn't watching one every week.
Yeah.
You know, like
because we're getting it constantly now, right?
Now
and on this, we're getting those skills in shows and TV.
I get it on my phone. I can watch it on something on YouTube. Then it goes to Twitter, to Instagram, to TikTok, and I'm so inundated with content that nothing resonates and nothing leaves a mark.
And again, this is a bigger conversation for another show, but it's like there's also an argument you had that like we consume so much and too much, where like we're even consuming things that aren't meant for our target audiences now, where it's like we're seeing things where it's like The Little Mermaid, for example, like look, and Anthony even said in our review, it's like this isn't targeted for us.
No.
As much I've seen it again in theaters. It's a really well made movie and I really liked it, but it's so true though. It's like you have people talking about on social media and on YouTube, and especially like the really like toxic channels where they're just like bashing this movie, and it's like you're a 40-something-year-old man talking about The Little Mermaid. Like why though? Like why are you spending your time talking about this where this movie is not meant for you? Yeah, you know what I mean. It's just really interesting that we're in that time.
It's so easy to hate, you know. Easy to hate. Hating is so easy that it's
and
just
sharing your hate
and sharing your hate because everyone's got a voice now and share your hate.
But it's almost like selfishness in a sense because
absolutely.
It's like, and I know we weren't favorable of Fast X, but there's a lot of things that are happening in Fast X that just don't make sense.
But we also we were critical about it, but I also don't think like I know I got a little mean about it, but I still think that compared to the rest of the world when they get mean about something,
it's like
we're meant to be good.
No, but it didn't.
And we also have our kind of caricatures that we go into when we're
because I'm not this person.
When you're 40 years old, and at this point you might be 40 because if you watched The Little Mermaid in 1989, it makes more sense. And I grew up with The Little Mermaid, and this is how I experienced it. And like, you need to let that reality go. Because
or embrace that like. Times move on.
Fandom, but I also don't understand obsessive fandom. Where it's almost
or toxic fandom.
And toxic fandom, where you just it personally affects you.
Yeah. But what a hill to die on, you know?
What a hill to die on.
The mermaid hill.
I'll be like when I went to go.
They're dying themselves because that's out of the water.
That's I feel like don't die on the mermaid hill.
Yeah,
don't die on the mermaid hill.
That down. That's the next one.
Even though she's on a hill at one point, but
listen, but you know what made me when I went to go see the film again, I saw it opening night. And there were so many like little girls who were going to watch the film dressed as Ariel. And I'm like, this is amazing.
Well, we even saw it at the red carpet.
At the red carpet in Toronto,
and
there
like, was that feeling.
It's so heartwarming. I'm like, they're so excited for this movie. Let them be excited.
When you're 40 dressing up, and nothing against cosplay people, but you have to let the little kids be little kids. Because when you get to a certain age, you kind of grow up. You have to. Like, that's just
you have to let kids be excited about it.
Let the kids experience it, because when you were 5, there was no one saying, well, this is not what it was 20 years ago.
This is not what the book was like.
We didn't have that, right? So now that we do and everything's connected, let these kids experience a movie. Let them have fun.
Let them grow up and look at a film that are like, that movie's probably not great now, but when I was a kid I loved that. And we have that. Let them have that.
Let them have it.
Or you were going to say something.
Oh, I was looking at their YouTube analytics, and people were giving our mermaid review thumbs down, and I'm like, it's such a good review. It's a positive review. The movie is not a bad film.
It's a great film. It's a great time.
Like, I'm never gonna watch The Little Mermaid again, but I enjoyed it, and it kind of made me feel like a kid again. But I'm never gonna go back to it.
Sure.
Maybe if I had kids, I'll let them watch it. You could compare the two, but I'm never gonna hold this grudge of, this is not what I felt like watching it as a cartoon to now.
It's ridiculous.
But it's even like, we look at like Fast X, for example. Like, even though we weren't like huge on it, we're not going to be like, tearing people down for liking it or making them not want to watch it. It's just like, this is an opinion that we had.
Yeah.
You go watch it or don't go watch it. Who cares? You make your own.
Opinions and opinions.
It's just with Fast X, there's a lot of like, you don't get how it got to that point. So even as a fan,
there's genuine criticism there, 100%.
Right. Like you could say, okay, if they showed Toretto taking serum and he became fucking superhuman, then it would make more sense.
Yeah.
But there's nothing showing the evolution of how he started as where he started and how he got to where he got.
Yeah, it's a whole different franchise now.
It's just now a totally different franchise.
And also, like we were getting like such stupid comments about Mermaid being like, "Whoa, did Disney pay you for this?" Like, do you think Disney's gonna pay people for this? Like, are you dumb?
Yeah. Also, like we are a big show that we will watch things and give reviews. Like we don't care what expectations are in a movie or not. You know what I mean? Like we gave Shazam a favorable review this year. Warner Brothers didn't pay us for that.
No.
We watched the movie with our eyeballs and our ears and our senses. Yeah, I use my eyeballs personally. But it's like, you know what I mean? It's like we're not beholden to anybody. We are the movie podcast. We'll all have different opinions. We'll have reviews even on the Fast review. Like there were moments where I was speaking more positively to anyone than YouTube, but like it doesn't matter because it's like we're here to have a conversation about it. And we're also not blind to what makes a movie good or what makes a movie bad. You know what I mean? Like but Anthony is right. Like there were parts where it's like when Fast X specifically or Fast 10 specifically where it's like this doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But you know what I mean? Like that's go listen to that review. That was a fun review.
You will know when we get paid because we'll be stunting on everyone.
We will.
Hold on one second. My Rolex is just it's making
you guys don't mind the sound, right? You don't mind the
both
sound.
wrists and on my neck.
I'm wearing one upside down as well.
The big clock one.
I love it. But let's continue on. You know, we have a great show laid out for you today because, like I said already, this is the movie podcast.
Wait, this is the
movie podcast. No, we're just finishing the intro. I just want to make sure that you can follow us on all social media platforms. You can.
Oh, I heard you say can't.
No. Get the negativity out of you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, dude, why don't you not want to follow us?
At the Movie Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd. We have a really fun week ahead on the Movie Podcast because it is Spider-Verse week.
Spider-Verse.
Later this week on the Movie Podcast, you will be able to hear our spoiler-free review of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Spoiler alert, though, we loved it.
Ooh.
And you will be able to hear our review very, very soon. And then later this week, we will have some special guests joining us on the show, including the directors of the film and the stars.
Oh my God.
Including Haley Steinfeld
my God.
and Shamik Moore. So we have some really cool guests joining us this week. Maybe we'll have more. Maybe we won't.
We'll have more. We never know.
We like to keep it secret.
What do you guys predict right now the Rotten Tomato score is going to be? I know that's like it's like a stupid thing to think
For
about.
Across the Spider-Verse, I think it's going to debut with 100%.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to finish with a 92%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anthony?
Start and finish.
Yeah.
You want those numbers?
Sure.
I think it'll debut with a 98.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to say 100 because Daniel already chose 100.
You can still choose it.
No,
It's fine.
I will go.
Okay.
So they debut with a 20%.
Yeah.
No.
And it will end at a 97%.
Ooh, yeah. I
only
can see
1%
it's going to be a
drop?
high one. I can
So
see
I think it'll debut at 100 but end at 98.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Even 99 is possible, I think.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah.
And I hope it does it because
I don't like your 92 though. I'll be honest. It was so negative.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
pretty
sorry.
low.
-2. That's one bad
92.
review.
like to an Asian parent, that's a fail.
Yeah, but it's like also like it's one bad review, so it's like and it's from the outlet like I Hate Spider-Man. Why are they credited Rotten Tomatoes?
It's from fuckspiderman.com.
Yeah. Why is that a website?
Yeah.
It means something else.
Don't go there though.
Don't go there.
But like parents concerned.
Can you check and let me
I'm checking right now. Hold on.
Why is it in 3D?
Why did my phone get bigger?
We also have an interview coming out this week with Sophie Thatcher. She got to talk to her for The Boogeyman.
The Boogeyman.
So you'll be able to hear our thoughts on the film and our interview later this week on that.
Yeah.
It could be tomorrow. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. It was a lot of fun. She was really cool to talk to.
That's awesome. Any highlights, any teases that you want to get out there for the audience?
Well, I mean, if you know anything about the Boogeyman film that's coming out, Sophie Thatcher and also her co-host Vanessa Victoria. Why am I blanking now?
For
her co-star.
in The Boogeyman.
Vanessa Byler.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel horrible miss saying her name, but
she's listening right now.
She's listening right now.
I will Vivian Lyra Blair.
Vivian Lyra Blair. I'm like Vanessa Byler.
Young Leia.
Yes, Vivian Lyra Blair, who also liked our picture, by the way.
Thank you for liking the picture.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, follow and subscribe.
Yeah. We talked about how they both were in Star Wars projects roughly around the same time. And I think that was a really cool conversation. Also, for people like us, I'm not Anthony, because Anthony's been a horror fan since,
He's been what fan, sorry?
A horror fan?
Oh, got you.
A horror fan. Horror fan. You've been a horror fan since you came out of the womb screaming, I think.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I didn't come out of the womb screaming.
No, you didn't?
I was choking. I was
God.
I was choking out my umbilical cord.
Oh my God.
I was like, save my life.
Get me out of here, please.
I don't want to be in this world. He can speak. So we talked about, how someone can just watch horror movies and be okay with it.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought you were talking about umbilical cords for some reason.
No,
I was so preoccupied with that.
You know what? Our conversation could have gone there. I think
I
if
feel like it would have.
3 more minutes with Sophie, we would have gotten umbilical cords.
Later on in this episode, we're actually joined by some special guests too.
Really?
Yeah, we are. And I'm really excited about this one because there's this great show out on Narcity's YouTube channel called The Drop.
The Drop.
And Narcity, obviously, if you're from the Toronto area, if you're in Ontario, you follow them because you want to know what's going on in the city. They're fantastic at that. But in something that we haven't really covered here on the show before is like our web series.
No.
And I think what's really cool about the guests that we have on the show today is that they created a show that I think is so influential in the sense of like taking place in Toronto and showing the culture of the world that we're kind of in right now. The show's called The Drop. It's 4 episodes. They're about 15 minutes each. Go watch it. Go support it because the 2 wonderful ladies joining us on the show today
are joy.
They're fantastic. I'm so glad that we got to make this happen. Aisha Avelina and Danny Pagliarello are joining us on the movie podcast today. We had about a 30-minute conversation with them where we just kind of went everywhere.
It's a really fun conversation because it's not our usual structure.
Yeah,
we just kind of had a blast just kind of talking to them.
We did, yeah. So I want to let you know
it's rated R.
It's rated R for sure.
Yeah.
So that's going to be later on this episode. If you are listening to this right now, you'll be able to keep listening to this episode. For those watching on YouTube right now or listening on YouTube, we will break that out as its own separate video. So make sure you go support that. Go watch that specific interview so you could give them all the love that they deserve, because I think they're going to go on to do some really, really cool things
100%
down the road. Now, it may be a record. I don't know if it is a record for long as it's taken for us to get to the news, but let's get to the news. Not a lot of news this week, I'll be honest with you. That's why it's taking us so long to get here. But we did have something come out this week, which was the PlayStation Showcase.
PlayStation Showcase.
Oh, no, it's there's a lot to take from it. There was a lot of good announcements, and there was a lot of good announcements.
There's a lot of expectations, I guess, that maybe just weren't met, and that's kind of where we, get the anger from.
And that's
no anger. It's just boo.
So this is the thing. After 2 years, we've been waiting for PlayStation to really kind of show us what's coming next, what all their studios are doing. Now, there's a lot of rumors where it's like, yeah, this actually was the showcase that was supposed to take place last year, and they're holding back. And then we heard the story that came out with Naughty Dog later on, with factions being kind of reevaluated, was the words. But I did want to ask you guys, I'm looking at an article from our friends over at Console Creatures of everything announced at the showcase this year. I wanted to ask you guys, what were some of your takeaways from it? Obviously, we will talk about Spider-Man because that's going to be a bit later. We'll talk about that after. But leading up to it, just give me your overall thoughts on the showcase. What worked, what didn't work, and what stood out for you, Anthony? I would love for you to start us off.
So I get hyped because you guys put the hype out there.
Hey, don't blame us.
I don't know when these showcase happens. So Daniel's like, you're gonna watch it, right? You're gonna watch it. It's gonna be great. It's gonna
GTA 6 is gonna be announced.
First thing, GTA 6.
It's like being shot by 1,000 bullets. So I'm like, okay, yeah, let's watch it.
It has been talking to somebody has been described as that. Yeah.
Someone says that. But
It's like,
write that down.
Yeah. Daniel, it's like talking to Daniel's like shot by 1,000 bullets.
Daniel's words on poison their bullets.
So we're all excited for it. I'm like, okay, cool.
Don't die on the Mermaid Hill. Still making me laugh too. Oh, it was good.
Truthfully, I fell asleep twice watching.
Oh no!
I did say that. I said I fell asleep twice watching this showcase because it just really didn't connect with me. And the first time I woke up was this the songs of Metal Gear, and I'm like, oh wow,
are we getting it?
We're finally getting it. And I was just so groggy, I couldn't even understand because I remember I was in and out of sleep, and I remember this python being eaten by a alligator. I'm like, what the hell is happening here? What game is this?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see friggin' Snake come out of the woods, and it's like the music chimes in. It's like Metal Gear Solid 3,
Snake Eater,
which is one of the best Metal Gears of the series.
It's like Metal Gear Delta, I think they're calling it. Snake Eater.
Yeah. So it takes place. This is the actual origin story of Snake, and how there's Big Boss and all, and how he kind of became this iconic character. Really excited. I know it's been talked about many times. When is this remake coming out? Finally, we see it. Really dope. And then, I fell back asleep and then kick into Spider-Man, which we're going to talk about. Yeah. I think the only other game before I fell asleep was the
Phantom Blade?
Phantom Blade.
Zero. Yeah. Phantom Blade Zero.
And I remember messaging you guys. I'm like, this is what Jedi, Survivor should be like, feel like when you're using some sort of blade and combat system.
Yeah.
Other than that, like very disconnected, lackluster. A lot of like independent games that I didn't.
Yeah, and a lot of games that are going to be a multi-plat, which nothing's wrong with that. But it's also like you want to. We know how strong PlayStation's first-party lineup is, and I think that's what took us away from it. And it really is a disservice to what was shown, because there was a lot of good games that were shown.
There was like a foam game.
Yeah, there was like Splatoon, but with foam.
Game. Yeah, like Splatoon is Splatoon.
I don't try and copy it. There was a lot of good stuff, and I look at things like the Plucky Squire, which we knew about already. Ghost Runner 2, which is Ghost Runner, the first game, is like a great game. Phantom Blade Zero, which really like Sword in the Sea, which looks great.
Team of the Journey,
all of that.
Pathless.
And it's like there's a lot of great announcements. Teardown looked really cool,
but nothing
too.
like that year where it was like Wolverine, Spider-Man.
No, and that was almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, it ended with Knights of the Old Republic remake.
Yeah.
So it's like
really exciting. Oh, this is what to look forward to, because at this point I feel like we still haven't received our next gen game yet. Like this is the next generation for the PlayStation 5, designed for the PlayStation 5. I know Ratchet Clank is.
I think Spider-Man 2 will be that.
It's Spider-Man 2, but like there's
but even nothing, then it's like so much of it's now. Based on like the before.
And what's also kind of disappointing is that we're really only seeing up until the end of this year. There's only like 1 or 2 games they announced that are 2024 that are from their first party studios. There was that Crimson game or that spaceship game, and then you also got Bungie's new game that's coming out as well. Marathon. So yeah, sure, those are cool, but like, again, you're kind of supposed to be showing us what is it.
Show us the big guns too. I was hoping for that moment where we got in previous showcases where he'd come out and be like, the next games are all going to be PS5 exclusives.
Yeah,
and Jim Ryan would come out and say that.
Yeah.
So we didn't really get that, and again, this was, I think, a solid showcase. But this was a really good state of play.
Yeah, a really good state of play.
This is a good state of play, but like when you think of a PlayStation showcase, I think there's a different pedigree to that, and I wish that Sony PlayStation came with a slate of games for the future, or was even almost like a check-in saying, okay, what's Guerrilla up to? What's Sucker Punch up to? What else is Insomniac up to? What else is Naughty Dog up to? There's a lot.
They're not up to a lot, and that's why they.
Well, I think they are. Just they don't want to reveal it yet.
With the whole thing with Naughty Dog releasing their statement, I just feel like maybe they just don't have anything to show yet.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right?
There's even the game by Haven that they opened the show with. You know, the paid. What's it called?
Not Payday, but it was like a heist type of game. Yeah,
Smart Money or whatever it's called.
Yes.
Yeah, which again is, we didn't really see the gameplay of that game, but it's like another games as a service kind of game that they're trying to push forward.
So it's interesting. Fair games.
And
this it felt like, okay, well, if no E3 is happening this year, which E3 is always going to be like whenever I think of E3, it's the biggest announcements, right? So if you're not doing E3, this is going to be your biggest announcements. Not really big.
Yeah.
And it didn't really leave an impact on what PS5 looks like in the next coming years.
Yeah.
Even if you have like demo or storylines that you're going to showcase in the next 3 years, give me something, because we've paid for the system.
Yeah. And there's rumors that they held back
to invest. We want the games. Where are the games that you're investing into PS5?
Yes. Yeah. And that's the thing, right? So we know Summer Games Fest is coming. We know there's going to be more announcements there. But with the PlayStation Showcase, I guess, setting the tone for what's to come. I really do hope that PlayStation has another showcase for September again, where they can be like, yeah, like here's some more stuff that's about a little bit further and beyond, because I think they're going to be they're going to see the reactions to the showcase, right? Mm-hmm. And again, and I don't think it's overwhelmingly negative, but I do think that people going into this were like looking at it almost like, again, I hate using the sports analogies for it because we can't be looking at these things as sports. You can't look at movies and games as sports like that. But it's like you have Xbox, who's literally been on the ropes right now with everything going on with Redfall and their exclusives and all of that. And then Sony had an opportunity to really show up and be like, this is why we're the best system in the world, blah, blah, right. blah, blah, blah. And they just kind of just like came out and waved. Yeah. You know what I mean? Instead of like not attacking or not. They don't need to attack. They just need to like show up.
But it shows arrogance as well.
You know, it's like they sent a video message like, hey guys, sorry I can't be there. But no, like show up. Like I think the showcase would have at least been more resonate with more people if they had one big like holy shit announcement from Sony that was an exclusive, because I think Snake Eater got a big pop, obviously when that was announced. Spider-Man has been great, but they should have opened with Spider-Man. I think they should have opened with Spider-Man and then immediately gone to Gran Turismo,
or just not even shown Gran Turismo,
because like to have Gran Turismo take up time towards the end of the conference. I remember when that trailer started, I'm like, God, we only have like 7 or 8 minutes left.
Yeah.
Like, why are we showing this now?
Movie trailer
like
now?
I don't think Spider-Man should have opened the show.
Yeah.
Spider-Man opens the show, follow that with Gran Turismo, because it's a trailer people have seen.
Yeah.
People could be still reeling from Spider-Man, knowing that Sony's almost like padding.
It's a good buffer, you know?
It's a buffer between the next thing, right? And I think a lot of this showcase could have been better if it was trimmed down, maybe rearrange some things, because it just, as it kept going on, it turned into, we're just waiting for Spider-Man now. Yeah. And it's taking too long to get to Spider-Man.
And there was a point even where, and I know that sounds crazy, where I was like, are they even going to show Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Like that thought shouldn't have crossed my mind.
Does Spider-Man, and I'm curious, I just need a yes or no from both of you, does it get delayed?
No,
I don't think so.
I think Insomniac is rock solid.
Okay. I'm hoping you guys are right. I'm going to also say it does not get delayed.
Okay.
But it also is getting a reaction online where people are excited for it, but there's also a lot of negativity towards it. As always, there is.
And I mean, like, you've been seeing the memes.
You know, so I'm just curious. I'm curious if they ever want to slide that out, but if they do slide that out, then there's a huge hole in the Sony release for this year, right?
The hierarchy of the game.
I wasn't like, if we were going to talk about Spider-Man, I wasn't like super hyped with what I saw.
Right.
It just felt like very similar to what we've experienced with the other Spider-Man games. I didn't feel like it was like an evolution yet. Maybe that's just because we only got certain gameplay.
Sure.
But I was even talking to Daniel, like, you know, Venom is great, and we get to see Venom, you know, Peter Parker as Venom, and
or like the black
symbiote suit,
right?
Symbiote suit, and he's, you know, battling it out with these dudes in this house. I'm like, why didn't they design it so like the environment is also destructible? Like, he's Venom. He's a ruthless guy. When he picks up that dude from a distance with the webs, he should have threw him through the house. And then the house should have kind of like, you know, like he went right through the door. That things like that should have been part of
100%
the next evolution of this world.
Or even if the house didn't break, I didn't like that the web throw like that. It looked so similar to the first game. And I'm like, whoa, he's supposed to be stronger. Where like when he kind of pulls him one way, and the guy just kind of stumbles.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, like you kind of, it's like, it almost reminded me, again, it's not to the same level. I'm just making the comparison. When they showed the grapple hook in Halo Infinite, it was like, oh, I thought that would have been a bigger moment where it's just like, and then he threw them. And then he did the kick on the house where he'd like destroy the guy's legs. I'm like,
that was cool. But also when we got like the swing, like the swing pull, like the slingshot, the slingshot we got, and also like the web wings, like those are cool. Those are the things that made me go, okay, this is an evolution. But you're right, the destructible environments, that immersion into being a destroyer wasn't there.
And I think too, like, again, on the stream, it looks so much better in the 4K 60.
Oh my god, so good.
Where like it's not dropping anything, but like I almost think that like that was a wrong sequence to show. Because especially it also reminded me a lot of the Uncharted 4 sequence where they're chasing
through the
city. No, through the city, and then
he drops onto the train.
Yeah, and they hang on to, and it's like a very similar looking, sequence, right? So I'm like, I think there was maybe like a better sequence they could have shown, or and again, there was a little bit of a fake out at the beginning. It's like, oh, is this guy with this half shaped head? Is he Craven?
Yeah,
and then the real Craven shows up behind him, which has a great design. But yeah, I feel like showing Venom would have been really cool.
I think they should have focused on him, rather than Craven. Like, I think they should have led up to how, and I know they showed that in the first trailer, but really like get into the Venom and Spider-Man meeting for the first time, and maybe like cut it right when that symbiote's about to touch Peter.
Yeah,
like almost like an ET moment.
Yeah, because
it's like, oh shit, now I know I'm going to be Venom rather than I'm Venom.
Yeah,
I'm going to be Venom.
Yeah,
which his suit looks dope. Like I really like the designs, kind of like very moist.
Yeah,
he looks.
Yeah, it looks like a living organism, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
moisty.
And there's rumors too that every suit in the game is going to have like a symbiote like
touch to it,
like a symbiote like variation to it, which would be awesome. And again, we don't know. Again, that's based on a rumor, so I'm not going to be upset if it doesn't happen. But there's like Spider-Man. It's one of those things. I'm like, I just want it. I just want to play it. I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
But that trailer didn't make me any more excited for it. Some moments did, but like it didn't leave me in a spot where it's just like
there's some nice awe and gasps, but it never was like, this is exactly what Anthony said, this is the next evolution.
And I think there could have been a better way.
They're holding back,
they're holding back, and and obviously I don't think Craven's going to be the main villain of the game. I think Venom's going to be the main villain of the game. Maybe even introduce Green Goblin, because like when you look at like the first Spider-Man, like Mr. Negative wasn't the main villain of the game, but he was the one in all the marketing.
Acto,
it was Aki. Aki. But any other final thoughts on the PlayStation Showcase before we kind of wrap up? Again, there was a lot of cool stuff in it, but I think when we're so used to the showcase blowing our minds, when you use that title of the showcase, you really want to be blown away.
This is again a great state of play.
Also, they showed like new hardware that's coming out for the PlayStation 5.
Oh, the Q.
The Q, and it's just like, why would you not show that? Like, you've already pre-rendered this sequence of showing this handheld system as well as
the AirPods,
and you not talk about it. It's like, well, even if it's in development, at least you have something rendered.
Tell us more.
What does this do?
Or like head over to the PlayStation blog to see an in-depth thing on it. Because like,
wait till the next one. What?
Like you just dropped hardware. A new piece of hardware on us. Like let us know. Like what
the fuck's that all about?
And again, like I'm curious about it, because I would love to. Like I loved like the Vita technology.
We love remote play.
We love remote.
Are you talking VR?
No, Vita.
Oh, Vita. Yeah, sorry. Remote play.
Like we love remote play. Like and I literally bought a controller the other day, like a thing for my phone to go on my controller, but it just didn't feel right because it's just too top heavy. But so like, but my Switch is like amazing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would love a Switch, but for my PlayStation stuff. But the fact that it's only going to be doing remote play.
Do we know that officially?
Apparently that's what they said. It's only for remote play. But again, give us more details so we can know, because like, why does my PS5 have to be on to play somewhere else? Again, in my house, I get it. But if like I'm on Wi-Fi somewhere else in the world, like it'd be cool if it just worked through cloud, or even if
there are cloud games that PlayStation has,
so we'll see.
Yeah, it looked cool. Like I was thinking, I even speculated because I don't know. It's like, oh, this very, very similar to a Switch, where I see like the screen detaching from the controller, and the controller kind of like merging together to then be as like a regular PlayStation.
I don't even think it will do that, to be honest with you.
I don't think
why not? Like just USB-C, just like
because I don't think they'll want separate. I feel like the controllers may come off.
That's so.
I know.
Like we gotta have wide shoulders to hold that. You gotta have broad shoulders.
It's interesting, but it's
think
like,
about it.
It's like
that'd be cool.
That would have been a great moment. That would have been great to be like, it's like literally just a Switch OLED with the big kickstand at the back. It's a great device. It would have been a great moment to be like, go to the PlayStation blog to learn more about it, and that there's not. I'm like, oh, we're still using all the images I'm seeing of it are the ones from the showcase. I'm like, okay. I would love to see more what this thing looks like. But let's move on. Cannes just finished up. This was I feel like
can you believe it?
Can you believe it? Does Cannes last like how long? How many weeks is Cannes? Is it a week? It feels so long.
Yeah, it does feel long.
It feels
I think
so
it's
long.
because there's a lot. It's like the start of the film festival.
Yeah.
You have big movies happening, movies that are not happening until like October, November.
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's like, and it's the most prestigious because it's not like
It takes 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Right?
2 weeks.
weeks,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I was like, there's
I
no
thought
way
it was a week, but yeah,
so long ago.
But yeah, it's also the south of France. It's beautiful. It's ritzy. It has the whole
the Palme d'Or. You know,
and I feel like more and more every year, bigger and bigger films
are premiering there. Yeah, like Fast 9 premiered at Cannes.
Yeah,
you know,
this year had a lot.
Killers of the Flower Moon. We had Indiana Jones. We had Elemental.
Yeah, Asteroid City.
Yeah. So we had some really large films that were premiering there, which is interesting to see.
And it sets in motion. And we were talking about this when we were doing our summer movie preview. What to expect from these films, especially like Indiana Jones not doing well with the people there, and even like the praise that it did get, it wasn't great at all. Like it didn't leave. The impact that a lot of people expected this Indiana Jones to leave did not.
Yeah. So you're curious because then you have that going into it.
Yes.
So maybe that will work to our benefit. So if we're not expecting much, we'll come out like, oh, that was actually really fun.
Yeah.
You know.
And then Elemental as well as Asteroid City also not being praised, even though a lot of these movies have been getting,
well, Asteroid City's like, I've been seeing a lot of positivity towards it, but and it has like 82% right now on Rotten Tomatoes.
Out of how many reviews right now? It doesn't say.
It should say, yeah. Let me double check for you.
But yeah, it just, again, like, I don't know. That's why I was a little worried about what we're getting into in the next coming months and the end of the year.
I'm just glad Barbie and Oppenheimer weren't there.
Yeah.
You know, like I think
they're just still in process of making, like,
finishing them. Yeah. It. And I also think I think both of those films are going to do really well at the box office. So,
but 38 reviews.
38 reviews. 82%,
good amount. Yeah. Curious. Yeah.
But yeah, Elemental came out yesterday
at Cannes. Yeah. And was it closing the show?
Yeah. Which, I mean, right now it's only at 7 reviews, so it's hard to say, but it's in the 50s.
Okay.
And the director
Peter Sohn.
Who
we spoke to. We'll have an interview with him. Yeah.
He had like his standing ovation, and he was able to talk about the whole story and the immigrant story that it really is behind it all.
And
really
from what we've seen,
because he's a really nice dude. Like
super
from what
nice guy.
I've seen in that interview, he's such a nice,
very nice guy.
Yeah.
The Idol came out during Cannes as well.
Oh yeah,
not good.
I think it's the lowest rated HBO original ever right now.
Yeah, and I'm like, it just felt funny that they took a series like this, gave 2 episodes at Cannes. I felt like
they knew. I feel like they wanted the negative press because there's more press when there's when it's negative than positive, right?
And after reading that article in THR, if you just look it up, type in Euphoria THR, there's a huge article about Barry Levinson.
Sam
Levinson?
Yeah.
As his father's Barry.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know his father.
You've seen it. Well, his father's done a bunch of stuff.
That's his daddy?
Yeah.
Daddy Levinson, eh?
Daddy Levinson. So Jan
Levinson Gould.
Just, he has like a unique tone to his series and what he makes. Very...
I get that.
Over the top sexualized stuff. So this one's very in that realm.
And I feel like they did that. They premiered it there knowing that it's not going to get great buzz. Because that negativity, people are now going to be like, okay, how bad could it be?
Yeah.
Let me tune in and watch it. The Weeknd's in it. You know, like I want to watch it. So
the Weeknd's approach to it is not always like comes off as very, very petty.
The Weeknd himself? Yeah, 100%.
I don't understand why. Like if someone doesn't like your movie, for sure, but like when you go into the petty realm of like, who are you to even question me? I'm the Weeknd, right?
Yeah.
Like, but
he's not the Weeknd anymore though. He's now just his Abel.
Abel?
Yeah. Abel Tesfaye?
Tesfaye?
Yeah.
Tesfaye.
I hate
I hate his name, right? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, but like it's just like
it's so pretentious.
That, like you're literally wearing like a Childish Gambino shirt right now.
Oh yeah,
and it's like, oh, I'm not Gambino anymore. It's like, yeah, but you are though. You are like that was your name.
You're not Prince.
Tell me who I am.
You know what I mean? It's like
you're not Prince, man. No one's Prince. He's not even Prince anymore.
No.
So yeah, there's a lot of good things that came. I think Killers of the Flower Moon, which is coming out in October, November time period. Big hit,
big hit. People said they loved it. You know,
it didn't win the Palme d'Or. I think an international
Neon film did. Yeah. 4 years in a row for Neon.
Good for them.
Yeah,
amazing for them. But yeah, Scorsese did his job. He was able to tell his story.
Yeah,
biggest budget ever for such a not small, but like for a story that doesn't need the
that budget.
A film that you wouldn't assume have a budget like that, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting. Did you guys see the quote that Scorsese came out with that kind of made me a very like melancholy reading, who was just like, like there's so many. He's like, I feel like I'm just starting to really like get how to make movies, basically, and he's like, I wish I had more time to tell all the stories that I want to tell. When you contrast that with Tarantino,
yes,
where he's just like, no, I'm done making films after the critic. I'm done.
Go out on the top.
Yeah. So it's and he's not going out on top.
No,
because it's just one of those things where it's like, it feels like Scorsese is that director who's willing to take risks. Yeah, and he does, because you see all the movies that he's made, and you see Tarantino who feels like he's scared to fail. You know what I mean? So it's an interesting juxtaposition between both of them.
Wait. Scorsese. Yeah, sorry.
Scorsese's
they both have Italian last names, so I got confused.
Like Scorsese's just like, I wish I had more time to tell all the stories that I want to tell, and Tarantino's just like, I'm done making films.
But could it be just because he knows he's coming to the, and I know it sounds sad, but like he's coming to the end of his life where it's like, I can't do many movies anymore, and
Scorsese?
Yes, and like there's like,
yes, it is.
I wish I could tell all these stories, and I'm afraid of dying, and I don't want to die.
Like, he's like, he's scared. Like Scorsese is sad. He's telling us that like, I'm sad because there's all these stories that I want to tell, but I'm looking at my clock right now. Yeah. Ooh, Scorsese's, is he 80 yet?
Scorsese?
Yeah,
I'll take a look.
And he's like, I have all these movies that I want to tell. I mean, look at Clint Eastwood, right? Yeah. He's still directing and doing his thing in the 90s, which is fucking wild to think that this guy's in his 90s directing.
100. He's almost 100.
He's literally 80.
Scorsese.
Martin Scorsese is literally 80.
And then can we just get Clint Eastwood's age too to confirm?
Clint Eastwood?
But it's like you have Scorsese who like wants to tell stories, and Tarantino's just like, no, I'm done. You know?
Different mindset. Different.
92.
92. Yeah. And this guy's like, this is my last film coming up.
Like, I think it's just different mindset. I think it's different. I think.
Okay, we can call Tarantino's a coward. He doesn't want to continue on. He's scared.
I think Tarantino made the movies he wanted to make.
Yeah.
Whereas Scorsese...
you don't think Scorsese did?
He did, but I think during that time period, it took a lot longer to make films, where it wasn't like, how productions evolved, and it's much faster to build a film, but I feel like Scorsese makes it even longer. So let's make
Could be, yeah. But I feel like Scorsese also pumped out so many movies who were like in his 50-year career, right? Where like it was almost like every other year he would have a movie, at least in the 70s or 80s, right?
I just think it's crazy to say like, I'm done making movies. Like, just be like, oh, I don't know if I'll make a movie again. Like,
but he's been building it up since
the door open.
He's been building it up since what, like Django?
Yeah.
Whereas like when I hit 10 films, I'm done. It's like, okay,
relax, dude.
I was saying with Scorsese, maybe he didn't feel like he had the control that now a lot of like, directors have, where like
he's realizing the money that Apple's going to give him to make movies.
But like with Tarantino, he started different. He started in the 90s, and he kind of revolutionized the director vibe of, I can control what I want to put on the screen and still make, huge critical hits.
Yeah, I got you.
Scorsese felt maybe at that time, I have to keep making movies for people to understand my vision.
Right.
And now that he's gotten to the point where, I can control a lot. I can request $200 million budgets and do this and do that. I could do all the things I wanted to do rather than what the studio wanted.
Scorsese's last movies will be a Marvel movie, man. He's going to come in and just do one Marvel movie and then dip. Could you imagine?
It's Captain America when he's in his 90s.
Could you imagine though, like if he ever came in? Like that would be like the wildest like turn of events.
I think with The Wolf of Wall Street and how funny it was and how different it felt and just the vibe it gave. This is coming from like a 70-year-old man. I think he could make a Marvel film. I just don't think he wants to. I don't think that's his.
I don't think that's his thing.
He would probably tell us something else.
Yeah.
Where it's.
Do you think we'll ever get a film, a Fabelmans-esque film out of Scorsese of himself? But I feel like Scorsese like
from him. No.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I feel like Scorsese also like hates himself as like, but you know what I mean. Like, you know how artists hate themselves.
Self-deprecation too.
Yeah. Even when you look at him, he's just very timid. Like he's a nice dude. Like, but he doesn't talk about himself. Right. That vibe.
Yeah.
He's like
he's praising all
echelon, which he is, and it took him so long to win that award.
Yeah. Like I'm curious, like if we'll ever see a film either about him or like a Fabelmans-esque film where it's like, oh, this is about Scorsese.
I can definitely see like maybe not a film about his whole life, maybe a film about him making one of his biggest movies, something like
I feel
Taxi
like
Driver, Goodfellas, Like someone just making a movie about the journey to get there.
But like if like that person's not involved in it, like if like the Fablemans wouldn't be the Fablemans if it wasn't Spielberg making it, right? So you're curious.
But the Fablemans really focus on that young part of him.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future someone tells Scorsese's story. But maybe it's one of his daughters.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And maybe I feel like Scorsese's also felt like, no, if you wanted to get an idea of who I was growing up, like you watch my movies because I put myself into these characters, you know? So you never know. Let's continue on. Box office wise, because it is a holiday today in the United States of America, not a lot of box office reporting.
Not a lot of box office reporting, but I do have some numbers.
Give us some numbers.
I got some numbers. What?
Nope. I was just gonna breathe. I was anticipating you saying The Little Mermaid.
I was about to say The Little Mermaid. You're absolutely right. Disney release is on track to debut at a massive 118 million over the 4-day holiday weekend, with 96 million of that coming just from the weekend alone.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's going to rank as of right now the 5th highest Memorial Day opening in history. Then you have movies like Fast 10, which are not doing so hot. They are slowing down. The car is coming to a halt. The 10th installment in the Fast and Furious franchise continue to show signs of running on fumes, at least in the US. It's estimated to only bring in about 23 million this weekend and about 28.7 over the 4-day holiday after launching to a soft 67 million. So as of right now, it's generated a disappointing 113.6 million.
I feel like 400 million worldwide.
400 million worldwide, 113
connecting
domestic.
with audience overseas, but not.
Yeah. But do you think it's going to end off less than F9 then?
I think so, because I don't think it has the legs to carry.
Or the wheels.
But it's already hit its budget. Like it already made enough.
Yeah, but they want to make more, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious. I feel like they hate the name, the word furious in the title, because like they're never furious in the movies. They're fast.
No.
Yeah,
so they're never furious anymore.
They're
only furious about when the movie's not doing well.
The Little Mermaid, was that always what it was expected to make?
No.
Or was it a lot less?
I think it was a lot less.
It was a lot less.
It was a lot less, yeah. Because
then tracking lower. I think
and
90, I think.
I think it was in the 90, and then I think there was projections that it may even hit 130 over the 4 days. So we'll know tomorrow, I guess, officially what it's looking like for the day, and it's doing well. It's good. It's good to see.
Guardians in 3rd place,
and Guardians holding steady too.
Yeah, it took about 20 million with an estimated 25 over the whole 4-day weekend, pushing its domestic total to about 300 million.
Nice.
So Guardians still doing well. Even Super Mario Bros. Still out there with 6.3 over the weekend.
Yeah, and it's available to watch at home now too.
It's available to watch at home.
To purchase.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some trailers. Continuing on with Halle Bailey, The Little Mermaid. It's funny because you mentioned, Shay.
Yeah.
As soon as The Little Mermaid reactions dropped and the reviews dropped, The Color Purple.
Yeah.
The trailer dropped, right?
We knew that everyone was going to praise Halle Bailey in this trailer, in this movie, and then why not just drop a trailer? But I feel like because the reactions for Little Mermaid were so amazing, no one really noticed the trailer.
Yeah, The Color Purple, and again, I think it's also one of those films that it's going to come and people will praise it when it comes out.
Yeah.
But it's also difficult to. Because The Color Purple, this is a remake of a film that's a beloved film, obviously, but it's like, I'm curious to see how it's going to resonate this time around.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's not that old either.
No,
it's sort of like
a
90s.
Because it's such a unique story, and I think the story still, like what Steven Spielberg did with The Color Purple, is still relevant now. Like, I just don't feel like they had to. It's a period piece, so what
85,
what
85,
needed to be remade, other than okay, let's get a black director and do this the proper way, but I just don't think we needed it.
Yeah, but it's that thing, right? And this applies to so many movies. And we were talking about this the other day with The Little Mermaid, where it's like old movie is old. We have this like deep bench of, they look at it as just IP and they want to do it. And again, that's not taking away the writers.
Sad. Like The Color Purple should not be an IP.
Yeah, no, but but here's the thing. I don't want to take away from the directors and the writers and the actors who've been part of this film, obviously, because it looks really beautiful and well made. But it's interesting.
It's a musical version, right?
Yeah, and it's just interesting that we're just getting this kind of reimagination of it. And today, I hope it does well. I hope it's a great film, and obviously we'll be talking about it later this year. But
do you think with the writer's strike happening and like the amount of going back and utilizing what we've had, the nostalgia of sequels and stories that we really connected with when we were kids, and now bringing it back, do you think that's going to change once the writers go back into writing mode, where they maybe get this jump of let's start creating more original stories.
I don't know
for the big screen.
But I mean, like, you look at the last writer's strike, and again, this isn't to talk about you can't generalize all the content, but like content, you can't generalize all like the content made in that time, right? Of the films and shows, but you know, the original writer's strike ended when 2008, 2009,
about 110 days, yeah.
You know, and it's like it went into, you know, we went into a new era of Hollywood at a time where it's like just major blockbusters, multiple major blockbusters a summer, a year from that, right? So I feel like when things end with the writer's strike, we're going to get a lot of just expedited studios wanting, okay, you lost. I don't care if it's not done. We need to start shooting this. We need to get going. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of rush and crunch and a lot of that. So I'm curious what the quality is going to look like in a couple of years.
Yeah, this one's more, I guess, of an adaptation of the Broadway play, less of the remake of the first movie, more of an adaptation of the play, the musical that Fantasia Barrino was in.
Yeah, and she's in the film as well.
Yeah.
So with the music, there was no musical. It was
the original was a book, and then movie,
and then they made it into a musical.
Yeah,
and then they made it into a musical play. Yeah,
and now it's a movie on the musical part.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's a hybrid of two.
Yeah.
So we shall see how that does later this year. We also got a trailer for The Creator, which was the John David Washington film directed by. I always want to say Gareth Evans.
Gavin Edwards.
Gavin Edwards. I don't think it's Gavin Edwards.
No.
Is it Gavin Edwards?
The guy who did Rogue One?
Yeah.
Gareth Edwards.
Gareth Edwards. Let me take a look here. Ladies and gentlemen, Gareth Edwards is the winner.
Gareth Edwards, yeah. So we have that that came out. We got obviously our Dead Reckoning trailer that we spoke about, and then a film called Hijack.
Series called Hijack.
What's the series?
Idris Elba series takes place in real time.
Is it a Netflix one?
Apple TV Plus.
Apple TV Plus.
We have it actually.
Yes, we do.
6 episodes. It takes place in real time about a hijacking.
Cool. Let's talk about The Creator.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
That looked good.
Oh, good.
The Creator looked cool.
It looks like Star Wars.
It looks like Star Wars. Looks like Akira. Looks like Blade
Big
Runner.
Scale, yeah.
Interesting. Is that a movie or is that Netflix or a streaming?
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
It's a film, yeah.
In theaters, yeah. I think it's 20th Century or Disney.
Yeah.
Looks cool. I don't know, like what story is gonna go, but it has like the Japanese vibe. It has that cyberpunky vibe to it, which is something I dig.
I dig
I like John David Washington.
Yeah,
he plays. I feel like a soldier of sorts.
Yeah,
and he goes into
it. Just kind of feels like it's coming out of like a weird time. Like I feel like people were like impressed by the trailer, but people aren't still talking about it. Like there wasn't like an attachment.
I also just think it's the time it's coming out. Yeah. It's like it's coming out in September.
End of September though.
End of September.
Not beginning of September.
So it could be a TIFF.
It could be a TIFF. Yeah. There's a good chance it may show up at TIFF if they want to premiere it there. It has a great cast. I mean, John David Washington, Gemma Chan, Ken Watanabe.
Yeah.
You know, Greg Fraser is doing the cinematography for it. Who obviously Batman and Dune stuff. And Batman and stuff. Anything else this week that you want to talk about trailer wise?
The Barbie trailer too.
The Barbie trailer too. Yeah. Barbie trailer was fantastic this week.
Really good.
Probably the best trailer we've gone for.
But I found like Ryan Gosling looks really old in that.
He looks very like plasticky.
I don't know why. It's like his eyes are sunk in, so it's like he has like these dark circles that don't make him look young. Like
I'm curious if it's like the makeup that they did for it.
I think it's a makeup.
The makeup.
They're trying to make him look like he's like weathered a little bit. You know.
He looks pretty wet. I don't know if you got that vibe.
I know. I definitely.
Margot Robbie looks
like she's perfect.
She's perfect.
Yeah.
But
I definitely got that vibe because he looks very like.
I don't know if it's the blonde hair that's throwing it
something.
off. I think he doesn't look like that. When I see Ryan Gosling, I don't see that. I see something else.
Yeah. So I think it's just like the makeup they're doing on him is to make him look a little bit more like a weathered Ken. Like a weathered Ken. Ken who's starting to feel feelings. Out this week. It's the film we've all been waiting for. It's a film we've been waiting to talk about.
Across the Spider-Verse.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is releasing exclusively in theaters. And like I said, it's Spider-Verse week. Look forward to our interview coverage. Look forward to our review very soon. Venom is back for some reason. God, any Spider-Man movie that comes out. And it's such a like an old this time with joke as well too at this point.
This is like an oldie. An oldie but a goldie.
It's sticking around. Let's talk about what we're watching. And you know what, Anthony? I'm going to get you to start us off.
This week I started rewatching Righteous Gemstones.
Righteous Gemstones.
I think of Righteous Gemstones.
In preparation for the new season. So I thought, okay, they're quick to go through and something that you don't actually have to stare at the screen. You kind of just listen while you do other stuff. So I started with that.
Don't appreciate the art, eh? Just on your phone.
No. I'd
look at this content on in the background.
A lot of times I'm just
I bet this doesn't even have writers.
Or doing something. Like, it's nice to have. But yeah, like I would just watch the third season. Was it the second season? Second season.
Yeah.
So I didn't go back to the first season.
No. The best season.
Rewatched that. I started playing Zelda.
Oh baby! Shout out to Nintendo for the code for that one.
Shout outs to Nintendo for the code on that one. I'm enjoying my time with it. I think the first 20 minutes I'm already lost in the sense of like the scale of what I'm getting into, and I think the exploration is huge with this game, and there's a lot to do, and
unreal.
I haven't got the Blood Moon yet, and I hate it because I know it's gonna pop up,
and it's so much scarier.
I can see the little counter at the bottom. It's like, ugh. But I'm enjoying it. I think right now, and I haven't even touched the tip of it.
Have you gotten off the Sky Island though?
Not even gotten off the Sky Island.
Oh my god, dude!
I got a hand that allows me to move things and combine
dude, you're at the beginning of the game.
I know. We've been busy, man.
I know.
Been doing a lot of stuff, so
we'll be doing a review discussion second week of June we're aiming for right now, where we'll be talking about stuff and spoilers and our time with it
myself as well. Like with Jedi Survivor, I literally get obsessed with it and I have to finish it and complete it. With this one, I'm actually like, let me slow it down. I don't have to play it every day because by the time we do our review, have completed
a couple hours in,
dude. But I don't think you have completed it. I don't even think I'm gonna have complete. I'm 50 hours into it.
Like complete the story?
No,
come on,
no, dude. Unless you like mainline everything, maybe. But like, dude, we're at the end of May, and if we're doing this in 2 weeks, I don't think you're gonna finish it.
But I'm not gonna spend my time building. Like, you remember you sent me that TikTok, and I'm like, dude, I don't have time to build all these things.
But you're going to see, dude, like. And I'm not building a lot either in the game, but like it's fun though. It's just so fun making stuff, and it's like I just make stuff to try and travel in different ways. And like I'm 50 hours into it. I 50.
Yeah.
Holy.
Thanks, but he's not responding to our messages.
Yeah, but I've also been playing it for like 3 weeks already, 3.5 weeks.
It came out. Has it been 3 weeks?
Yeah, it was the first week of May.
Wow.
Yeah, we're at the end of May.
Still, 50 is a lot.
Yeah, but how many hours you have in Jedi Survivor? Like 30 something.
No.
Yeah, 100% you do.
I don't know.
You probably more.
5 hours.
No, you platinumed it? There's no way.
Yeah. 5 hours.
I'm excited. Listen, I'm really excited for us to talk about Tears of the Kingdom. We're going to have some special guests joining us as well, too, for that one, because there's so much to talk about in this game. And so much of it isn't even just a story. It's just the stories that you make for yourself in those moments along the way.
I will say the cinematics and even the story, but the cinematics and the character, the villain of this game just is so much better.
Yeah.
It's not like this entity. It's an actual being. Yeah. It's scary. I wish
Ganondorf, bro.
Yeah. I do feel like I want more voices. I want Nintendo to incorporate
more voiceover in their work.
Less reading for me.
Yeah.
Let me
less reading for you.
Let me hear them talk. I also would love Link to talk.
Yeah. Like I feel like we'll eventually get it, but there's a lot of talking in the game.
Guy hasn't said a word. Yeah. She's like talking to a ghost. Like Zelda's literally, dude, I'm talking to you. Say something.
Yeah, it's like Fool's Paradise over here. Or if he falls off a cliff, he's
yes. Yeah, it's so I've done that many times.
I'm excited for you. I'm just excited for you to progress because there's
a lot
of progression.
Like, dude, I'll literally put a beacon on the map. I'm like, okay, I'm going there. Hey, what's that over there? Like, what's that? Where's that smoke coming from? And it's just like I didn't think it was possible for me to kind of have those Breath of the Wild moments again. But as you're playing it, you just fall more and more in love with it. It's an all timer.
Awesome. That's incredible. Really good.
That's really cool.
So I watched Spider-Verse. A review will be coming out this week for it.
Yes, it will.
I've also been watching a lot of sports because it's playoff season in NBA and hockey, and there's a lot of crazy things happening with the Lakers being swept, and now like the Celtics coming back from 3 games to now Game 7.
Crazy, absolutely crazy how that happens.
Or the night before. What a wild way to end a game, like with 3-point free throws. Nuts. And then a shot that just hits the rim, and friggin' White was able to like just get it in there right before the time.
Crazy.
expired.
Yeah, I was watching all the clips this morning on Twitter and like Instagram, and it's just like, wow.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like these are both in hockey and basketball. There's two teams that are close to coming, like with the Celtics actually coming back from a 3 deficit.
Yeah,
and now Dallas coming back maybe from a 3 deficit. And the teams that are currently in the finals with Denver doing the sweep as well as the Florida Panthers doing the sweep. What are the coincidences? What's the statistical value of that, right?
It's weird.
So that's pretty cool. And yeah.
Sports are cool sometimes. They're very cinematic sometimes.
Very cinematic. Other than that, have I watched anything else? I don't
know.
Succession. I don't know. Like right now, we haven't gotten to
the finale,
which
Barry's
is an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Barry's happening tonight, but best believe I'll be in front of my screen at 9:00 watching Succession.
It's a weird way to watch TV in front of your screen. I would watch from behind. Just to hear what's happening.
It's like watching the reflection.
This is one of those, like just the lead up and people talking. This is like one of those historical television moments. I hope it ends.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of speculation. Who's going to win? Who's going to be the successor? Is it, there was one video I sent to you where they kind of talk about Tom being Wamsgans and his last name, where it originates from, and the three stripe.
Is there anything that this episode could do to upset you? Like if it just gave that CEO title to a complete pivot?
Well, it would upset me that no one
no one
and
gets
it's like the board members
they disband the company.
They still don't. Yeah, they disband the company.
They drop a new character all of a sudden last episode.
I don't think so.
Cousin Tony.
I think this season is so good.
Yes, it is.
That
it can only disappoint.
The last episode, it's not going to be like The Sopranos where it's left for you to figure it out.
Yeah,
I don't think they can do that.
No,
you can't do that again.
And with an hour and a half, there's a lot of story to tell. I just right now at this point, it's who is going to be.
Yeah,
Kendall's been showing a lot of ambition, a lot of he has the vibe. Roman right now, that last episode at the funeral where he's crying just kind of brought him down a pedestal, and then Shiv showing her dominance. I don't know. Tom, Greg.
It's gonna be, I told you, I said when we did our review, I'm like, I have this weird feeling it's gonna be cousin Greg.
It could be Greg, because Greg is connected to Mattson.
Yeah.
He could be the CEO the puppet CEO that they want, so they can stay
control
in power. There's a lot.
There's a lot of places they can go with it. It's wild. Again, it's funny that like we have such major shows ending this week with like Miss Maisel, Succession, Barry, and then Ted Lasso apparently is going to be ending this week too. So,
there was news. I forgot. Citadel is coming back.
Season 2,
all directed by
Mr. Joseph Russo. Yeah,
who we had on the show.
We have had
the budget is 10 times more now.
It's $1 billion.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it's going to go.
Bring us to Rome.
We'll go to Rome to cover it.
They also released an image of the Italian Citadel.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's interesting they didn't call it like Citadel Italy. They just called it like Citadel, and it's the girl's name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all.
Cool.
For myself, we already were talking about Tears of the Kingdom. We'll talk about it more. We watched Wrath of Becky, which we will have a fun interview coming out for that very soon as well too.
Fun interview.
Obviously, I spoke about The Little Mermaid, The Boogeyman, which we'll talk about a bit more in our interview this week with Sophie Thatcher, and The Little Mermaid, and then Across the Spider-Verse. There's lots of stuff to look forward to, but I'm gonna kick it over to Shahbaz.
Yeah, I've been watching Succession as well. I'm excited for tonight. Really excited for Barry tonight as well. I mean, can't believe that show's ending. This season has been phenomenal. Bill Hader directing this entire season. Crazy. Just crazy. This season is so damn good.
And it's all within like 30 minutes.
All within 30 minutes. Yeah. Crazy. I've been watching Yellowstone. I'm on season 2. I'm almost done season 2 right now, and I'm loving this show. It is so good. Like I can't stop watching it. I think it's because I keep watching it, I'm falling behind on stuff that I have to watch right now. Wrath of Becky, which will be a really fun interview coming out for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and of course the Boogeyman.
I love it.
Yeah.
What we're going to do, so I'm going to do like a traditional kind of closing for this show.
Okay.
But I do want to know, we still have an interview coming up on this show. So we're going to kick it over to that. But I want to say, of course, thank you for listening to this episode of the Movie Podcast. Again, if you are listening to this on YouTube, we will have a separate video up for the interview with Aisha and with Danny. So look forward to that as a separate video that you could watch it, enjoy it at your leisure.
There'll be a link.
There'll be a link
right on the screen. It'll pop up.
It'll pop up right now. There he goes. Anthony has it ready for you. But again, thank you so much for listening to the Movie Podcast this week. We have so many incredible episodes coming your way. We're going into such a busy season of the year, but we have so many amazing things already waiting for you.
Yes.
You know, in this Spider-Verse week, look forward to all of our coverage later on this week. And of course, make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd at The Movie Podcast. That was this time with The Movie Podcast.
And we'll see you next.